My lovely losers, how you doing today? So, Petualangan Sherina. Sherina's adventure just got turned into a musical. My sisters watched it, I don't. Reason being, I was at work. They were watching it on the afternoon. And I just got flashbacks on how much I envied this movie as a grade schooler. That's right, the movie came out like 15 years ago in 2000, I guess. So there's this musically talented kid that automatically sends my envy radar blaring back then. Because I wanted to be in her spot, I wanted to be in her shoes. Like, why is this grade school kid who's only 1 year older than me got songs released by her, and there's a movie made of her, a musical movie. And now, 15 years later, it got turned into a musical with different actors, of course. Why didn't they just make it a sequel? Sherina's like, what, probably 25 now? They would have made a sequel of her as an adult, revisiting the same spot they used to visit. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty nostalgic. It's been a few days now, it's been a week probably, and my sister can't stop singing the songs. And the memories just flooding in, and it just brings back the memories. And there was this other time when 3 years ago, my friends and I went to Geo Park. One of my friends was blasting Petualangan Sherina songs, and everyone was like singing along, including me. And I still got the same flashbacks on how much I envied this whole movie in general, and how I used to envy Sherina as a person in general. I remember at like 9 or 10, in grade school, I was reading this children's magazine, and there was an article of her and her family. They went touring around Europe on vacation, and being 9 years old, I didn't have a blog yet, so I just grabbed a piece of paper and like manually read stinking article, like with a few paragraphs and drawings of me and my family in her place instead, like as if we were the ones who were touring the entire Europe, the entire continent. Oh, and the other main character in Petualangan Sherina is Saddam, right? The guy also has an S name, so I remember making a whole poster that is a parody of Petualangan Sherina in my diary. I had a diary back then. 90s cool kids, am I right? So I drew this poster by pen and pencil and colored by color pencil, and it says Petualangan Rara. And the other main character that I had alongside me was another guy from my class whose name also starts with an R. Cringe. He was supposed to be my rival turned friend back then, just like these two kids. That was how much I wished I was in Sherina's shoes. I wished I had a movie made from my fictional life with songs that I can sing to. I had a great voice, I just didn't know that I can sing like that back then. I probably can't sing as well as her right now. I like vocal coaching. If I had better vocal coaching, maybe I could have written albums right now. Instead, I'm just a regular Joe on the internet, rambling about envy and copying, writing songs about envy and copying, and drawing comics about envy and copying, and just rambling how much she loves envy and copying here on YouTube. I could have done so much better. I mentioned about making a whole 3-page comic about me copying, spying Sherina from behind and copying her, because of course I did. I was in grade school.
Yo, editing Rara here. I seem to be misremembering some of the stuff I drew back in grade school. The comic was only a 1-page comic, not a 3-page comic.
It's really mundane, I promise. She was buying this new scarf, and she was cooking spaghetti and giving it to the poor, and I did exactly the same stuff as she did.
Oh yeah, and there's no spaghetti cooking scene. Sherina and I did not cook spaghetti in that comic. I was baking a big cake to give to a random hijab seller on the streets, so I can take as much hijab from her as I want. Because I saw the exact same hijab that Sherina was wearing in that comic. Not that she wears one in real life. Neither do I.
Overall, even if I drew all those comics and parody movie posters, I still didn't get a movie made out of me as a kid, and that still stays as a grudge years later now.
After all this time,
I think Sherina is still kicking life in the butt. She's thriving, she's still making songs, and if there's ever gonna be a sequel of that movie, I don't know if I'm ever gonna watch it. And that concludes yet another boring story time about how I used to cope with envy as a kid by drawing stuff that happened to other people that I wished happened to me. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I'm gonna end this video with this tip of the day. If you got an annoying earworm that is stuck in your head like for days, don't say stop singing that.
because it's gonna trigger your reverse psychology.
If you tell yourself to stop singing something, you're gonna want to sing it subconsciously. Try sing something else, because then your brain's gonna be preoccupied with that other song. You'll eventually slide down that slope and like forget about the earworm. Hopefully. That is if the song is not invasive enough. And with that, this video is over and I am out.